if you think about the future as only perfect best case scenario, you are setting yourself up for really frustrating, stressful, poor execution.
Yeah.
The best performers, think of Phelps. Think about Phelps' process. So when they're creating the coach, Bob Bowman and Phelps, effectively their strategic narrative, right? Effectively, they don't literally do it, but drawing out where they've been, where they want to go, what could get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
The list is a long list, longer than I realized, because of course he's performed so many times at elite level. Well, what really can get in the way at the Olympics other than the other competitors? Oh no, they got a long and complex identification of possible problems. One of the things that they said, which was interesting to me when I talked to Bob about this, he said, well, the conditions in China or in any Olympics is that they will be worse than the conditions he's used to training in. Mm-hmm. And that never occurred to me before, because I just sort of always look so extraordinary. You just assume that the athletes are having great experiences, off camera. And he's like, that's never how it is. It's always much more chaotic. There's always many more problems. The conditions aren't ideal. So his goal was, how can I make Phelps' experience as normal as possible in really abnormal circumstances? Mm-hmm. So some of the things that they do, okay, they have a set routine so that he's there 2 hours before every race. That's a lot of buffer, especially for me, who can be quite time blind. It's easy to just show up right at the time or a couple of minutes late, 2 hours ahead of time. Why? Because no matter what happens, you have buffer now. They're in the pool following a normal routine so that he can feel normal even though everything's abnormal. So they're doing the same thing until 45 minutes when he sits on the massage table, never lies down, because it's routine. You routinize everything you can routinize. When he comes to the call time, he sits down, puts a towel next to him on one side, his goggles on the other, so that no one can sit next to him. You just don't need another distraction. It's another thing you can control in the routine. He's listening to the same music when he gets up to the board to jump off. He's getting on always from the left-hand side, always dries it before he gets up there. All of this is as a result of having identified previously problems that could come up. And if you do it in this sequence, then you've mitigated all those execution problems. When he stands up to jump into the pool, he flaps his arms in a very particular Phelpsian way every time. That's just the physical preparation in advance. He also had mental preparation processes that included, for example, for 10 years before the Beijing Olympics, he is every night and every morning told to put in the videotape. You can see how long it's been going on for. Put in the videotape. And it means to imagine the perfect race from end to end in slow motion. Mm-hmm. But it also includes exercises like, what will you do if your goggles fill with water? To imagine stroke by stroke, perfect race, even though your goggles are filled with water, and so on. Like lots of different mental preparation cycles. And in fact, that is what happened in one of the races, is the goggles did fill with water. Which you could just imagine how, if you have never anticipated that, never thought through it psychologically, mentally, that's it, that's over. Forget a race, forget the Olympics. I would hate to try and do that for even a couple of lengths would be not at all enjoyable. And he still is able to win because he's literally prepared for these scenarios. When it came down to those Olympics, Bob Bowman said to me, he said, I knew it was feasible to happen, but I couldn't believe that it happened as effortlessly as it did. It just, everything clicked every time, one after another. He says at the end, he stood like in the movie The Miracle, he stood in the hallway and just on his own, just had this moment of sort of exquisite meltdown of like, here I've been speaking with confidence, but the thing actually executed so beautifully, so well. No one had ever done it before. Somebody described him, if he wins 7 gold medals, he'll be like the first man on the moon. If he wins 8, he'll be like the first man on Mars. And he does the 8. When I went to the Cube in China, I was reflecting on this. How did he make the execution look so effortless? It's like, that's why. That's why I went and ended up interviewing Bob, about this because I was like, you got to explain it. What went on? What's behind the scenes? It's not just the moment that looks like the moment of execution. It's what are all the problems? What are all the mitigating things we can do? We'll build that into the routine. He added this final thought, which I think is interesting. He said, if you ask Phelps about this, he might not even tell you there is a routine. It's so normal now. And it was built so deliberately. That's just life. And yet all of it was built in place as anticipation for challenges and problems, so that then the whole thing feels effortless, fluid, but really it's because of all of this anticipation planning.